Yeah, this is going to be a live show. We're filming it here at the ranch. So we're trying to figure out all the technical aspects of it, but we've got Andre Pitt here. We have a cool truck over there, and we want to show you, yeah, kind of how this is being put together. So this is a Starlink setup that we got. We have it plugged into our Cybertruck. So there's a lot of synergy going on here, but
yes,
we're gonna see if we can use this setup to be able to live broadcast from different places out in the field, because that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, and also, like, we can't use our cellular here for a live show because there's no connection.
Yeah.
There's no reception. So this, satellite antenna is enabling us to do more things.
Yeah, so this is a little behind the scenes. You're gonna figure out with us whether or not this works, and you'll have to let us know too if we're having some technical difficulties.
Yes,
it's very plausible.
But we don't want to. This is not about the Cybertruck.
No.
It's about a different truck, and the reason why I'm holding an iPad or a tablet here, it's because I'm going to try to also take a look at your comments and questions.
Yeah, that's the idea.
As we move through this. We really wanted to focus this real-time review on the new F-150 Tremor, and this is a 2024 model. It's been refreshed.
Yeah, this is a badass truck that Ford dropped by our office. There's obviously a lot of off-road gear on it because it's a Tremor, but I don't know, well, do we want to just start with an overall look at the exterior of the truck?
Yeah, let's try it. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the comments. So you start the exterior talk.
So for the most part, it looks like a pretty standard F-150. If you've seen the Tremor before, you probably have a general idea of what this is. It's not a Raptor, it's not the full-blown top dog off-road truck, but it being the Tremor, it is a little bit more rugged. We've got some cool details in here. This orange detail that feeds right into this orange running light built into the headlight. And these grills, this is updated on this truck because the Tremor wasn't always this grill design. Right,
they kind of did a little bit of a facelift, right? It's a refresh because this generation of the F-150 came out in 2021.
Yeah.
It's been a few years. So now for 2024, across the entire lineup of the Ford F-150, they have new grills. And also this one has a new bumper, right? So this Tremor bumper is updated from the previous year.
And it looks good, it looks sturdy. Would you call this gold or orange? What do you think?
They call it Code Orange.
Okay.
That's Ford's name for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of has a little bit elements of both. A little bit of gold and a little bit of orange.
Could go either way. Yeah. Another really nice thing that we've got here are some General Grabber all-terrain tires. This is part of this Tremor package. And actually we'll have to get into it a little bit because this is an upgraded Tremor package. So there's kind of a base Tremor truck.
Yeah.
And then ours has an extra equipment group for $11,000, for a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it gets you some extra things we'll talk about once Andre starts wheeling it off-road.
Yeah.
But we've got some other cool styling elements here. That same orange that's on the grill is taken into the badge and this little vent design on the side. Got some pretty rugged looking side steps. Pretty nice. Says Tremor along the back.
Yep.
We have a hard Ford tonneau cover. So this is Ford branded, something that you can option with the truck.
Yeah.
It says Tremor along the back as well. And then we've got quite a few features. This is a pretty heavily optioned truck.
Yeah.
It's not super cheap. We'll talk about that as well. But this has this funky tailgate design, which is kind of cool. The nice thing about it being able to open this way is that if you do have something heavy, you can get it into the bed without having to drop it on to the tailgate and slide it forward.
Yeah, so a little bit more reach, right? This tailgate also opens, like they have some indents, so you can push it this way. It will stay at this angle. If you have a trailer jack or something behind here, it will swing about this way, or you could push it all the way out. So it has several indents.
And then of course you can also just open this tailgate the same way that you would open a normal tailgate.
Come on.
Yeah,
there you go.
There we go. So, all pretty cool stuff. That's definitely nice little feature.
It'll close. And I also have a button for the tailgate on my key fob as well.
Yeah, and we've got a step here built into the bumper. Which is
I think it's partially to help you, get into the truck. If you're carrying a cooler or something, you can actually kind of climb in.
Yeah, and if that tonneau cover wasn't there, that would make this a pretty easy way to get into the bed.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
So yeah, I think a Tremor is a really cool package. It starts, if it didn't have some of the optional features that we're talking about, it starts at around 65,000.
Yeah.
And it comes with a suspension, slightly lifted. This tire comes with a base Tremor, cloth interior, and not the fancy tailgate, no sunroof, no panoramic sunroof, no tonneau cover.
Yeah.
And also some hardware is different too.
Yeah,
underneath.
absolutely. Yeah, this package versus the base Tremor package, there's also some differences. The other thing that I do like about these Tremors, personally at least, is that you can get these with the Coyote. You can get this with the V8, which you can't do with the Raptor unless you get a supercharged Raptor R. It's the only V8 that you're going to get in that.
Yeah.
Those are well over $100,000. So you can get a Tremor with a Coyote if you're a fan of a V8, which I am. This motor has more torque, so you could argue, you know, this is a better powertrain. It is objectively in some ways, but I'm a big fan of that Coyote. This one is an EcoBoost though.
Yeah, and I'm with you. The Coyote V8 is a base Tremor engine now,
Yeah.
so why bother? I mean, it's already getting a 5-liter, and people love it. You could supercharge it later down the line if you wanted to. It's a great motor. Let's show inside
Yeah.
really quick.
Yeah, so like you said, the base Tremor is going to have cloth seats. This is not that. These are these really nicely trimmed leather seats here. You can see some of that accent color, the orange that we have on the exterior, is brought into the inside. It says Tremor on the seats. We've got this orange piping, orange stitching on the wheels, orange stitching on the dash. We've got some orange here on the sides of the vents. It has a big screen, a lot of technology, a lot of comfort. This is a really nice truck to drive. If you're gonna pick out a truck to drive every day, do road trips in, you really can't go wrong with this. Another one of the options that brings up the price a little bit on this particular truck is the fact that it has the full moonroof. That's a $1,500 option, so not inexpensive, but it's also is a lot of glass. I think it's closed right now, but still pretty nice stuff to have.
Here you go. Here's the. I wanted to mention a couple things. So you talked about the premium package. So the premium package gives you, because we haven't talked about the Torsen front differential yet,
Yeah.
right? So the Torsen front differential, obviously you have a rear locking differential in this truck. For this $11,000 package, you also get the Torsen front differential, which works automatically. You don't have to push any buttons. It's
Yeah.
basically a mechanical device that can lock the front differential and get you out of some tight situations if you're kind of in loose terrain. It also gives you 4-wheel drive auto, different
Yeah.
transfer case.
Yeah, that's also part of the package. Really nice thing to have, especially if you drive around places like where we live here in Colorado, where you'll be in the winter back and forth between regular paved driving and also hitting some snowy patches when the snow is kind of melting. Having that 4 auto setting so you can set it, forget it, and just leave it be, that's really nice.
Yeah, but I think what's not nice is that it's all bundled into one package, right? And it's $11,000. But Casey, you and I were talking off camera, and we wish some of those some of the like the differential or the transfer case or something else would have been a standalone option. I think
Yeah.
that would have been better.
Well, because I think there's probably plenty of people out there that want to have 4 auto capability, or maybe they just want the Torsen front differential, but they don't want to pay a full $11,000 to also get some of the fancy
Leather seats and all that
and
stuff,
a lot of
yeah.
the other tech features, things like that, that maybe they don't need. Maybe they just want a simple truck with the mechanical aspect of everything.
Okay. Well, how about this? How about I jump in? Like we said, this is a EcoBoost powered truck, so
Yep.
it has a little bit of a upcharge. I think it was $290, right?
Yeah.
To step up to this engine. And I'm gonna put it in 4-low in off-road mode, and I could start driving.
Yeah, and then do you have the stream pulled up here for questions?
No, I'm kind of struggling with it.
Right on.
Well, it's not, yeah, so it's kind of hard to see in the sunlight
It is.
also.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right.
Do we have any comments? Can you see there?
I can barely see you guys on this dim screen.
So yeah, the sunlight hitting us
Yeah.
is giving us a couple of problems.
Once in a while I'll see a comment pop up, but reading it is
Yeah, pretty difficult on that screen.
challenging.
Yeah. Well, part of the technical things that we figured we'd have
So
to
we are
figure out.
connected. We are online on this device too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not on the Wi-Fi, and of course, like we said, we have
Okay.
no signal here.
All right, well, you hold this, and Let me set up the truck.
Yeah, do you want me to swipe your mic off you so it's not in and out when you go off-road?
Right.
So what we're going to do here in Andre's pit with Andre in the Tremor is he is going to do logs, rocks, and trenches, which are kind of our favorite little obstacles to test out some vehicles on in this pit. What do you think? Are you going to go down logs, up rocks, and then circle back down to go up trenches?
I think so. I'll do that. Sorry, I took off my mic. I'm trying my phone now really quick. Oh, here it is.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So we could read some.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. So Captain Awesome is here. We have Lone Star. We have a bunch of you joining us. So thank you very much. Tremor, does it have the 5-liter or EcoBoost? So we already answered that.
It is an EcoBoost, yeah.
Thank you. I've grown to love the 3.5-liter. I've been driving it for 7 years, Lone Star says. Actually, it's been around in several generations for
quite a while.
Since 2011.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been quite a few years. So maybe you could read some of this
Sure
as
thing.
I'm starting to drive.
Then I'll probably hand
Sorry
you that.
about this.
Hey, it happens.
Okay.
All right, let's see how Andre does first going down the logs.
Okay.
Am I hanging on to that? Right on. I have 2 mics now. So really what we use the logs for primarily, because it's not that hard to drive up them as far as traction is concerned, and on that ground clearance won't be an issue, but what we usually use that for is to demonstrate a little bit of ride comfort. So it'll be interesting to see Andre go down these logs and see if he's getting jostled around quite a bit, and then he'll go from there over to the rocks. We'll try and get close enough to the rocks so that we can actually see it a little bit.
There we go. Someone's asking what the MSRP is on the Tremor. Do you remember?
Yeah, so we haven't said it yet, but I'll go ahead and tell you. The truck starts at about $65, but with some of the options, including the $11,000 package that it has to get you that Torsen front differential and the transfer case with 4Auto and the nice seats and a bunch of tech features, total, this is an $80,000 truck.
Ooh, doggies.
I know, it's not cheap, huh?
It is not.
Yeah.
Like we said, it starts at about 65. But I flipped it over to 4-low. It was very easy. The transfer case reacted almost instantly. I have a camera, so if you can, Alex, if you can poke in here just for a second. In 4-low, I have my front camera. It's showing me where the tires are pointed. I can select some drive modes. So for example, I have slippery mode, off-road mode, and rock crawl mode. I will keep it in off-road for now.
Cool.
And actually, no, just rock crawl. I'll put it in rock crawl.
Right on. So we got Andre in rock crawl. He's going to go down the logs, probably carry a little bit of momentum. Nothing too crazy. We don't want to bottom out the truck. But yeah, it looks like it's coping with it pretty well. And when he gets back up, we'll ask him how it felt, because we've taken quite a few trucks down those logs. So we've got a good basis for comparison. But yeah, no, it is an expensive truck. If it were me personally, there's quite a few options on that truck that I would probably personally do without. I think the tailgate, the way that it opens in 2 different ways, that's interesting. I probably wouldn't go for that or wouldn't need to. Same thing, that big moonroof is nice, but $1,500 added onto already an expensive truck, I think I'd go without. But the fact that this has the Torsen front differential, not that it's really going to need it for just this, but also that 4Auto transfer case, all really nice features to have. And like Andre and I were saying, it'd be nice if you could select those on their own without all the rest that comes with that $11,000 package. But no problem as far as clearance or traction. Let's see what Andre thinks. So Dre, how's the ride quality going down the logs?
Well, it's a tough test, right? Because we've done it in many different vehicles, going down the logs, and it's a bit bouncy. And these are not name brand shocks, right? We don't have Foxes or Bilsteins or anything like that.
On an $80,000 truck?
It's a Ford setup, okay? But this truck also has about 1,400 pounds of payload capacity, which is more than most other specialty off-roaders, right?
Yep.
And also 10,000 500 pounds approximately of towing capability.
Yeah.
So those shocks have to do both off-roading and also payload and towing as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the balance of it is good, but it was a little jarring at times on the logs.
And then you looked solid going up the rocks, but the rocks are not as hard of a test as the trenches that you're about
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where the traction really will come into play.
yeah, so what's going to happen when he goes into the trenches here, if you haven't watched us take any vehicles through the trenches, he's going to get fully articulated. So he'll be hanging tires in opposite corners of the truck at the same time. And then at that point, that rear locker and that Torsen front are going to start to become necessary. So this is really, of all the things that we have in here, the one that will actually put the truck through its paces. But yeah, it is a good spec of truck, this one. If you kind of like the idea of a Raptor, maybe you want to do some light trails, but you also need to use the truck for a bit of work. Maybe you need to pull some more trailers, you need some more payload. The really soft suspension on the Raptor is not going to be as functional for a pickup truck as the suspension on this Tremor. So it's a good compromise. In general, I like the idea of this truck. What do you think, Alex?
I really like this truck. I spent all day driving this yesterday for another video we were doing, and it's just super solid. It's fun to drive still, good power, and I think this is one of the best looking half tons you can buy right now.
And we had at one point by the office a very similar truck to this with a V8, a Coyote, and those motors are impressive because they're actually pretty decent on fuel, surprisingly good on fuel. They sound good. Looks like he's close to dragging the step when he bottoms out on some of that. Now we're getting into the tougher section. I'm not sure. We'll ask him when he gets up top. He might already have his rear locker kicked on because he's... Oh, no, he must not. But that Torsen front, which is limiting how much slip he's getting with the front end, taking over. Hey, Andre, was that you with your locker on?
The rear locker was not enabled right now.
Wow, so that...
Did you see something?
Well, no, I was just going to say, I think that Torsen front differential helped you to keep maneuvering up that hill fully articulated even without the rear locker on. That was impressive. Pretty good articulation too.
Was I lifting a tire or
Oh,
is
you
it
were.
not enough?
Yeah.
It is?
No, you had
Okay.
tires in the air, but it was articulating well, and yeah, I think that Torsen in the front made it so that you didn't even need to kick on the rear locker, which is pretty impressive because we've taken quite a few capable trucks up that, and if they're not locked up,
There's a lot of spin, right?
yeah,
It starts. How about I do it one more time with rear locker also?
yeah, let's see.
Maybe it won't even spin. Let's see.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think between that Torsen front and a locked rear, it's just going to walk up it even easier than it did right then, which is not like it struggled with that at all. Again, pretty impressive because we've taken quite a few capable mid-sized trucks up this same course of trenches, and we're kind of having to stand back from it a little bit so that we're still close to our Starlink. But when you actually get up close to that, those holes, those steps in there that he's dropping tires into are actually decently deep. All right, let's see. I'm figuring at this point we're not going to see any drama whatsoever. The truck is just going to cruise this. But it is yeah, so rub the step a little bit there. Not a big deal. Yeah, it is a decently capable pickup. Obviously the Raptor is going to be more capable in most ways, at least as far as off-roading is concerned, but that's a nice bit of capability off-road from a pickup. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, let me jump out.
Yeah. Hop on out here. Tell me how it was. Give me the rundown.
Thanks, dude. So, with the rear locker, dude, there was no spin whatsoever.
No drama.
So, that's what we always say for video purposes. If an off-roading trip looks boring, it's because the truck is capable.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to show that.
Well, and really, to fully challenge this truck on a trail, you could find things that it would do that are for sure more challenging than our pit there. But I've seen some pretty capable trucks have a lot of spin on the trenches there.
Yeah.
and this just walked it.
So
that
I think
was pretty good.
So I think the combination of these tires, right, the locking differentials that this truck has, there's only one thing that I would change if I owned one of these trucks. The attitude of it is that the nose is a little bit lower than the rear end.
Sure.
That's how it comes from the
So
factory.
you do a level?
I would do a leveling kit. I've seen a lot of you guys, other owners actually level out these trucks. And of course, you're playing with a lot of different systems.
Yeah.
This has Blue Cruise also.
Sure.
So you have to be very mindful. So if your truck is equipped with radar systems, camera systems,
Might
you're
need to be some
changing
recalibration.
Yeah, you're changing a lot of things when you're raising the attitude of your truck.
Yeah.
So you have to be mindful of that. Maybe talk to some experts. Maybe talk to a Ford dealership about it, because guys at Ford Performance and the Ford dealer may know a little bit more detail about that, how to calibrate those systems.
Yeah. Well, and if this were my truck, the one thing I would change is I would go for a Coyote, and
Yes.
then maybe put a little supercharger on that guy, and then you'd be giving a Raptor a run for its money.
Exactly. And like I said, so Blue Cruise hands-free driving is optional on this truck. I mean, all the hardware, all the sensors are on this truck already.
It's not
but
included for the
it's
price that you pay?
it's a subscription.
Oh, okay.
So you can do, I think, month to month, or you can have like a 3-year plan. I believe a 3-year plan is about $2,100. So if you are driving a lot of highways and you live in an area that's pre-mapped,
Yeah.
which most divided highways are currently pre-mapped, then you can pick and choose if you want that feature. Or if you're going on a road trip and you don't want to pay a lot of money, you could choose a month package and just get it for a month.
And Blue Cruise is a nice thing to have. It works pretty well. I'd say Super Cruise is
Probably
maybe one step above it, but still a nice system, especially if you do a lot of road tripping. Then you can just kind of hand over control and be a lot more relaxed. So I don't dislike the idea of Super Cruise on this.
Yeah, but like we're talking about utility of this truck, 10,500 pounds of towing, it's like 2,000 pounds more than the Raptor, right? So if you want to combine, utility, off-road ability with utility, I think this is a great combination.
It is.
Of that.
Yeah, it's a good all around. And again, as much as I like that Torsen front differential and the 4 auto, for 11 grand, not that that's all that's in that $11,000 package, but I would personally probably go for a more basic truck, save a bit of money.
Yeah. And also, so I had an F-150 without the 4 auto, right? Did I miss it tremendously? No. I mean, there were moments, like you said, in the winter where the conditions are changing. It's raining, it's snowing,
We get that a lot where we live on the Front Range in Colorado.
But still, I mean, I was able to manage it without 4 auto in my truck.
My 94 Ram doesn't have it, and I get by. So it's not the end of the world.
So that feature, I think the Torsen front end, I mean, if you're occasional off-roader, you probably don't need it.
Rear locker and the traction control, and you'll be fine.
But if you're a serious person who likes to do expeditions, going deep into the woods, you may need it, right? So it just kind of depends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have any other comments, or are we doing badly?
Not that I'm seeing, unless your phone isn't updating anymore, which is possible. I certainly would not call that an impossibility.
Okay.
But yeah, no, overall an impressive truck. Good towing. We were towing with it yesterday.
And actually
powerful.
we pushed that truck to the limit towing.
Yeah, we did.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's also, that truck is quick. You merge onto the highway with it, and it scoots.
Yeah, so the 400 horsepower, actually both engines have 400 horsepower.
Yeah, 500 pound-feet of torque with that.
Yeah, but this is more torque. Let me just
V8,
double check.
410 pound-feet of torque, still not a small number. Again, even with the extra torque on the EcoBoost. I think the EcoBoost is great. That one doesn't even sound that bad. It's got a little bit of a rumble to it, but I'm partial to a Coyote. I like having those extra 2 cylinders,
So Matthew actually is asking, does the 4-wheel drive auto have a weaker transfer case? That's a hard one for me to answer, but Raptors have it.
Yeah.
So if Ford is putting that transfer case into Raptor trucks, the V8 one and also the EcoBoost ones, I wouldn't say it's any weaker.
No.
I mean, it's more complex and it's more expensive, but it's not weaker.
No, yeah.
Let's see. If you were buying a daily driver full-size truck, what would it be?
Tremor's high on the list. Yeah.
With a V8 and without the optional packages.
Yeah, because again, it's just a good mix of being able to do some more rugged things and you can still do truck things. Hits all.
This person is asking, are you guys doing more California to Florida summer trips? Well, we don't have anything planned this minute.
Yeah, I haven't done any of those, but those are long days from what I hear.
Yeah, you should ask our videographer Cole about those long days.
I don't think he's itching to do another one, that's for sure.
It's hard. You're talking about ocean to ocean or coast to coast.
Yeah, where the guys drive California to Florida without stopping.
That's 2,500 miles, and we've done it twice. I think we need a new vehicle, like something kind of revolutionary to justify that big effort.
Exactly.
And we haven't found something yet.
No, maybe someday. Can't count it out.
Here's one more question, I guess. I have a lane centering in my 2024 F-350, and it's amazing. Blue Cruise would be a whole other level. This is interesting. Remember, you and I drove an F-350 from Detroit to Denver with lane
also
centering.
without stopping.
Also without stopping,
Overnight.
but also with lane centering.
Yeah, we did, and it was nice. When it was 4 a.m., we're going down the highway at night in that wide dually F-350. Yeah, having the truck basically steer itself was pretty nice. That didn't have a lot of energy left over. Yeah.
Yeah,
system.
and the next question will be, why doesn't the Super Duty have Blue Cruise? I don't know precisely. It's a heavier vehicle. The steering components are different.
Yeah, it's a solid front axle, so.
So maybe it's coming. We don't know yet, right?
Yeah.
So Blue Cruise is not completely there in the Super Duty. So we're about to wrap this up. Thank you for joining us. There's a couple of...
Yeah, pretty much.
I think you're back.
Oh, wow.
Well, there you have it, guys.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. Did the Cybertruck shut off?
I don't know.
So
This thing.
we still have a couple of wrinkles I think we can iron out.
For sure, but it seems like we are able to live stream off this Starlink.
Yes, we can. Also, that Ford F-150 has a 2 kilowatt inverter as well.
Yeah.
So in theory, we can also drive anywhere without reception and still have a live show in the truck.
Yeah, which would be really nice. But yeah, if you want to see that truck push harder, it's being taken on an actual trail tomorrow.
Very, very soon, and we'll have a video about
Yeah,
that.
the video's not going up tomorrow, but
Yeah.
it's being driven on the trail tomorrow.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this real-time review.
Absolutely.